The name, Dr. Richard Kimball. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony, Richard Kimball is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his murdered wife's body, he saw a one-armed man running from the vicinity of his home. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
The Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as The Fugitive, with guest stars Jack Klugman, Elizabeth Allen, co-starring James Best, Buck Taylor. Tonight's episode, Terror at High Point.
The place, Utah, the hills above Salt Lake City. The project, to move a mountain. Giant machines and armies of men moving millions of tons of earth to make way for a river which one day will turn the desert into Eden. For Richard Kimball, the mountain offers protection. Here he is Paul Beaumont, timekeeper, lost among the other workers. Here he feels he can rest a while. Here he is safe.
How about those timesheets?
I got one more crew to check out.
Well, get with it, huh?
Yeah.
Hi, Sergeant.
Morning, Mr. Harmon.
Anything wrong?
Yeah, this thing has started shooting oil. We noticed it just as we were passing your access road. Now, if there was just a good mechanic.
I'm a graduate engineer, okay?
That's good enough.
The oil filter needs a new gasket, that's all. Why don't you pull it over there, ask for money. Say I said to fix it.
Thanks a lot.
Nice to know there are cops around, huh? What? I said it's nice to know there are cops around. I mean, a job like this, you get all kinds, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I better get those figures from that last crew. Huh?
Yeah. By the way, from the main office. Some mistake about your Social Security number.
Boy, I never could get those digits straight. Let me see.
We'll clear it up with the payroll office.
Huh? Oh, yeah, you bet.
Beaumont, what's a man like you doing here anyway?
Oh, I have to work, gotta eat.
The lowest job in camp next to the water boy? A college man doing that kind of work? Oh, I know a college man when I talk to one.
Am I not doing my job?
You're doing your job.
Well, then pay me and forget it. Or boot me out and forget that, too.
Your problem.
Thanks.
You hiding, Paul?
Not hiding, Jamie.
You playing games? Can I play? I know lots of games.
Well, we both got a lot of work to do.
Well, maybe Sunday when I'm off. Huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe Sunday. Well, you got work to do.
Thanks a lot. We sure couldn't have made it back to the station.
Hey, let's have a little fun. Here he is. Hey, give me that silver dollar you got in Vegas.
Hey, now, man, what do you think you're gonna do?
You'll get it back. Hey, Jamie! Hey, Jamie! Come here! Come here, Gunga Din. You're a little slow upstairs, aren't you?
You want a drink?
Well, we got more water than you have right there on that truck. Do you want to pick up a dollar? I dropped a silver dollar right there in that water. Now you pick that up and it's yours. I don't want to get my shoes wet. Go ahead. Finders keepers.
How's the water, boy?
You know they ought to give you a medal for picking on a kid like this?
Maybe you'd like for me to pick on you.
Come on, Jamie, I'll help you clean up.
Yeah, wash his little face, wash his little hands. That's what he needs is a wet nurse.
Come on, Jamie.
Big-hearted Joe, huh? So you got him a job with Buck. Buck wants to hire him, that's all right. He's a boss. But you better keep an eye on him. Dumb kid like him can make a lot of trouble.
You know, Murdy, if you had a brain, you'd be dangerous.
You gonna call names?
You're playing your mud puddle.
Rolling like a couple of drunks. All right, the rest of you, go back to work. Go on, go on. What happened to you?
I fell in the mud.
All right, clean yourself off. Get back on the job. All right, I don't care who started it or why. All I care about is time lost on the job. Time I can't afford to lose with that tight schedule.
Letting your men pick on a retarded boy's not gonna save any time for you.
Look, Beaumont, you butt in again.
All right, knock it off. Now you go to work and stay away from the boy, Dan.
All right, Buck. But I'm telling you, you better get rid of that kid or you won't have enough men left to complete nothing.
You I can replace. And the boy. But heavy equipment men happen to be hard to come by. I don't know how I let you talk me into it.
Neither the water boy.
Not an 8-year-old child.
He's capable of a lot more, Buck. Ask your wife. She's been trying to help him. Look, Buck, he walked all the way from his home just on the chance of finding work. He lives 20 miles away. He needs a job.
I need mine, too. All right, one more chance. Any more trouble, he goes down the hill.
That sure looks nice, Mike.
Indeed. Yes, come to, Daddy. Yeah.
Come on, Mike. Now, you know $2 is the limit.
Oh, pikers and ribbon clerks, here's your deuce.
All right, then loan me 100 and we'll up the ante.
Come on, Dan, get in the game.
Well, did you wash behind your ears?
He sure looks nice and clean, hair combed and all.
Hey, what'd you do, comb it with goose grease? I'll open for deuce.
All right, give me 2, will you?
Kind of forgot my cap.
Get a little fresh air, I'll walk you out.
Give me a tray.
Here,
Give me one.
that's yours.
Back to Pappy, buddy.
All right, let's play.
I wouldn't want to get you in trouble.
You're not, Jamie.
My pa was like you. He was big like you.
You're a pretty big kid yourself. How long's it been since your father's been dead?
I don't know. Well, I ain't sure. It's kind of mixed up. I sure miss him. He was an engineer on the railroad, and he knew lots of things. He used to read to me out of big books. There's only Mom and me now, and Dottie. Dottie, she's small.
I know.
I'm the only one big enough now, so I gotta help Mom. I gotta work, and well, I'm strong. I can work hard. Paul, you think I can work?
I think you're doing fine, Jim.
Mrs. Harmon, she's teaching me too. She reads stories and then she teaches me some of the words.
Yeah, Mrs. Harmon, you better not keep her waiting.
Hey, you want to climb up that place again Sunday?
Okay, Jamie.
My pa used to let me climb with him sometimes. I'll see you, Paul.
See you, Jamie.
A little after noon, I found the sea very calm, and the tide ebbed so far out that I could come within a quarter of a mile of the ship. Jamie, you haven't even touched your cocoa.
I guess I ain't hungry.
You're still thinking about this afternoon.
Mrs. Harmon,
Yeah,
why'd they do like that to me?
because that's the kind of men they are. Jamie, this is something you must learn. The world is full of men like that. They're mean and vicious. I wouldn't say they were as decent as most animals. If I hadn't found someone like Buck, well, I'll warm this up for you. Hiya, honey. Your dinner almost got tired waiting. Oh,
Yeah, well, I got hung up on specifications. Cold bottle of beer will hit the spot.
Jamie, we're going to have to stop now. I'm sorry. But we'll work some more tomorrow night, Here, why don't you take this with you? And try to make out some of the words I showed you. It's not hard. Maybe Mr. Beaumont will help.
Okay.
Good night, Jamie.
Good night.
did you have to do that?
Oh, shut up and come here.
I mean, did you have to run him out like that?
Honey, it's late and I'm hungry. I don't like to find him here every night.
Bucky, he needs a little help. He's just like a child.
A child, he tops me by 20 pounds. That's a chuck.
Oh, Buck. I mean, well, he's got the mind of an 8-year-old kid.
Ruth, I just don't want him here, that's all.
Why? I'm asking you something. Why don't you want him here?
First of all, you never can tell what a kid like that'll do, you know.
Meaning what?
Meaning I worked darn hard all day. I got a right to come home and take my shirt off and relax without having that kid underfoot, huh?
Has he ever bothered you? Now, what has he done?
All right, maybe I just don't like kids.
Well, then maybe you should have married somebody else. Buck? What's wrong with me? Why don't we have a family? It's not natural. And it's not right. People who get married should have kids. You're not a family until you have kids. Buck, if it is me...
Oh, here we go again. Look, if anybody wants me, I'll be down at the shop.
No.
He's over at the far end.
Oh, darn. I gotta go have my hair done.
Well, I'll tell him you stop by.
Will you? Thanks.
Well, Mrs. Harmon, I think somebody ought to thank you for what you're doing for Jamie.
Teaching him a few simple
Well,
words?
that's what he needs. It gives him confidence. Helps to make him feel like he's other people.
Well, I could do a lot more for him if Buck... You know, I never will be able to figure how you talk Buck into putting him on.
That makes us even. Neither will I.
Oh, I don't mean that Buck is that tough. Not the way he wants you to think. When you get to know him, really get to know him, he's... Well, I talk too much.
Looks like it paid off.
And I want you to load more every run.
Buck.
I'll talk to you about it later. You were sleeping when I left. It was kind of early.
20 to 5. Buck, one of us has to say it. I'm sorry.
Two of us.
Buck, love me. Trust me. Love me, please, the way I love you.
Honey, every time we fight, it tears me apart.
Then let's not fight anymore, ever, about anything. I've got to go into town. I'm going to have my hair done, but I'll be back by 5. Don't work late tonight.
Not for this company or 7 companies like it. Come on, I'll walk you back to the car. What's that?
Oh, Buck, it's hot. All the women dress this way.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
What a woman, Pappy. What a woman.
She's stuck up. Always was, even when she worked in that bar in Elko.
Hey, you do that again and I'll break my appointment.
Big baby, huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to drive one of these?
Oh, I sure would.
Well, I could show you how to operate it.
Oh, I don't think I better.
If you drove one of these, you'd make a lot more money than being a water boy. Buck, he'd like to see you learn the controls.
Mr. Harmon said so?
Sure. You don't think I'd lie about it, do you?
Well,
Come on, get up there. It won't bite you. I'll show you. There we are. Right here's your brake here on the left. These are your foot feeds for the rear and front. Right here is your gear shift. Here, take my helmet. Now you look like a real driver. You go ahead and familiarize yourself with it. Take your time. Wait till that thing starts moving. Then you'll hear him yell.
Looks mighty dangerous to me, Dan.
No, it's in low gear. I showed him where the brake is. Go ahead. Rev it up a little.
Might be hurt.
He's lucky I don't break his neck. He could have killed somebody.
I told you, Buck.
All right, I'm gonna get him out of here. You check the scraper. All right, you guys back to work. Go ahead. You take the Jeep, drive him into town. I'll see he gets a week's severance pay.
Look, Bucky, he's just a scared.
I want him out of here.
Can't I wait till tomorrow? At least let me find him, drive him home, explain to his mother. Overnight, I'll be responsible for it.
Okay, don't forget it.
Jamie? I've been looking for you. I had a feeling you might be up here. You're not afraid of me, are you, Jamie? We're friends.
Them others,
Well, they won't hurt you anymore.
they ain't mad about that machine.
Why should they be? You didn't do any damage.
Mr. Harmon, he ain't mad neither.
Well, that's why I came up here, Jamie. I want to tell you he understands. And he likes you, but he's going to have to send you home.
I can't go home. I gotta work. Mama's counting on the money.
This isn't a very good job for you, Jamie. Look, I tell you what, we'll look around. We'll find you something better. You trust me, don't you, Jamie? We're friends. Well, come on, let's go down the hill. We'll talk about it. You take my word?
Hi, honey. I'm sorry. I know I was going to come home early. One of the big shovels conked out. How are you? about the boy, right?
Mrs. Hendricks told me.
Honey, I have to let him go. A kid like that, you gotta watch him 24 hours a day, believe me. You never can tell what he'll do. Honey, he almost killed some men today. Does that mean anything to you?
I know he wouldn't have gotten up on that thing if somebody hadn't put him up to it.
Sure, there's always some excuse.
Did you try to check it out? Did you ask? Did you treat him like anyone else?
You're not like anyone else.
Oh, right, so he's retarded. But does that make him fair game for men like Dan Murdy? Mean, vicious animals? Oh, Buck. I expected of them, but not you.
I told you I was tired of it. Every lost kid that comes along, why do you have to be the great Earth Mother?
Maybe that's because I don't have one of my own.
Here we go again.
Why don't I, Buck? We've had 7 years.
You know why. Look at the way we live. Job to job, place to place. A lousy 2x4 trailer. This is no place to raise kids.
Mrs. Hendricks is raising hers, and Mrs. Gustafson, and Mrs. Beale.
Well, maybe I want more than their husbands.
Maybe you want a wife you can trust. Someone you didn't meet working in a cocktail bar. Someone you think is fit to be a mother.
Oh, honey, that's not true. Come on. Honey.
Well, why don't you say it? You've thought it long enough. A cocktail waitress in a 2-bit bar.
Honey, you're wrong. You're way off base.
Then what else is it? Go ahead, run back to the office.
I'm not going to the office. I'm going into town.
What for?
If I'm lucky to get drunk.
It's a good idea to pack the night before. Get a good start in the morning. Bet your mother'd be glad to see you.
Paul,
What, Jamie?
you think maybe I ought to tell him I'm sorry?
No reason to be sorry. That yours?
I'm Mrs. Harmon's.
Robinson Crusoe, huh? You know, it's one of the best books I ever read.
She lent it to me so I could pick out some of the words. I was thinking to take it back.
Jamie, why don't you? Yeah, to take it back, you can say goodbye to her. I'll finish up this for you.
Okay.
Charlie?
Hear what?
It was a scream or something.
Well, maybe it was one of the kids.
Both sound asleep.
You're imagining again.
I'm not imagining. Jamie! Ruth? Charlie!
Where'd you find him?
In town. She, suffering from shock. I think she might have a slight concussion. I'm sure she'll be all right. Who made you the doctor? First aid man went to town.
We've telephoned for Dr. Santley.
Charlie said you saw the boy outside. Well, did you or didn't you?
I think it was he. He ran. He never seemed the sort of boy that
How'd this get here?
He was on the floor up front.
He can't run far enough.
Buck. Look, there's nothing to prove it was the boy.
Only his cap. Her seeing him. What was he doing here anyway?
I sent him over to return a book. Robinson Crusoe.
Did you find the book? You talked me into letting him stay. You're not going to talk me into anything else.
He loved your wife like a kid loves his own mother. He's not capable of something like this. He's not the type. I know what I'm talking about.
You're the doctor. Tell it to the police.
It was the way she screamed that hit me. I'm telling you, when you hear a woman scream like that...
Well, she was scared, somebody coming at you like that.
Just like a wild animal. She was my wife, I'd...
You know, Buck's always been a square Joe with us. He doesn't deserve what's happened to him.
He sure don't.
He ain't the only one with a wife in camp. Hey, Charlie, you think it's gonna be safe with that kid out there?
Well, I don't think he'd try it again.
How'd you know he wouldn't try again?
He's stronger than an ox. It could be dangerous.
You know, I got a rifle in my locker for shooting rabbits. Now, some of you other fellas got guns, too. I say we get 'em out.
Let's get with it. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, we'll meet right here.
Right.
There was a bruise on her cheek and a cut on her, forehead, yeah. And I think he tried to choke her because she's still out.
I know it's rough, Mr. Harmon, but maybe you're lucky.
Yeah, lucky.
She could be dead. You know who did it?
I got a pretty good idea.
We'll be right out. And don't let anybody leave.
Don't worry.
It'll take about 25 minutes. Now, you keep hold of yourself. It's Mrs. Harmon, an 809.
I've just made some fresh coffee. Won't you have a cup?
Thank you.
Do you think the police will take the boy in?
Uh-huh.
What will they do?
Ask him a few questions. Charge him, maybe. It won't come to anything.
Are you sure?
I'm sure he didn't do it.
Where are the rest of them?
They're a-coming, Dan.
We gotta get going. The longer we wait, the harder it's gonna be to find him. We'll start with the camp. Search it out, every corner. And don't hesitate to use those guns. We're dealing with a mad dog
Oh,
now.
that's ridiculous.
You butting in again, Beaumont?
No, look, he's just a frightened kid. Now, there's no reason for all this. Somebody proved it was Jamie, right?
Who did Mrs. Hendricks see coming out? Santa Claus?
Well, then let the police handle it. It's their job, not yours.
Never mind, Beaumont. If they don't get him now, they'll never get him with a 10-foot net.
If we don't get him, there won't be a man in this camp with a wife or kid be able to draw an easy breath. Mike, go get the rest of the men.
They're going after Jamie. They've all got guns. Dan, Ruff, all the rest of them. They'll kill him if he runs. He's bound to run. He's frightened. Buck, he's not a vicious kid. I mean, look, there's no hostility. He's got the mind of a child. A child wouldn't do a thing like that. I mean, basically and psychologically, he's not capable of it.
You know a lot of things, don't you?
Buck, listen to me.
First aid, how to louse up your Social Security. Oh, yeah, how to make yourself scarce when the cops are around. What are you running away from, anyway?
We're talking about Jamie. Ask your wife. She'll tell you it wasn't the boy.
You know all about it, huh?
Buck, take my word for it. I know about kids like that.
So do I. I grew up with one. Do you have any idea what that means? No, Buck, you can't go swimming today. No, you can't play ball today. No, you can't go to the movies today. No, you can't do anything like anybody else because you gotta stay home and take care of your brother, Buck. Yeah. Oh, he's bigger than you are. And he's older than you are. And he's twice as strong as you are. But you gotta hold him by the hand. You gotta lead him around. And don't you ever dare let go.
Buck,
Finally, you grow up. You get out of it. You think it's all past and you get married. And you find you're scared to have kids. You're scared to be like him.
Buck,
I gotta get back to Ruth.
Ruth?
Yeah, we're gonna bring that kid in, Buck.
they're not gonna bring him in. They're gonna kill him. All they want's an excuse.
Now stay out of it.
Buck, what if you're wrong about Jamie? At least wait until your wife's able to talk.
You giving us any guarantees?
Sure. Look, I'm not guessing. I know. I was trained to know.
Buck!
You wait.
She kind of moved a little twice.
Ruth? Honey, it's gonna be all right. I'm here. It's gonna be fine, honey. Now you're gonna be just fine. Ruth, do you know who it was? Was it the boy? Tell me. Was it Jamie? Was it the boy?
Huh? I couldn't see. I don't know.
I know. Find them for me.
Not a sign of him, Dan.
He's not in camp. He's got to be up on that mountain.
Yeah, I get about one chance in a million. In his stock, you'd have to be a mountain goat.
Dad? Nothing, huh?
He's got to be up above.
Well, you'll never spot him in the dark.
Even with the big lights,
The ox?
they could spot a jackrabbit a mile or more.
Get him.
It's gonna take a couple of minutes to warm up.
Right.
If he's up there, we got him.
Oh, he's up there all right.
Jamie? Jamie? It's me, Paul Beaumont. Jamie, I'm your friend, remember? I know you wouldn't hurt Mrs. Harmon.
That's gotta be him. Get that light over there. Higher.
Well, look, Jamie, we can't stay here. And you can't run. If you run, they'll say you did it, and we both know you didn't. Look, Jamie, come on down with me. I won't let him hurt you. That's a promise. I wouldn't break a promise to you, Jamie. Don't, Jamie. You hear that? It's police, Jamie. I want you to go down and talk to them. I want you to go down and tell them what happened.
You going along?
Jamie, they'll listen to you. That's their job, to listen. Just go down and talk to them. For me. You do it for me if we're friends. Okay.
Got him. Jamie, wait!
Jamie! Don't run, Jamie! Jamie, it's a policeman.
Don't run, Jamie, don't run! Jamie! They were after him. They might have killed him.
Who are you?
He's my friend. He's the one that sent me over.
Over where?
To Mrs. Harmon's trailer. He told me I ought to take her book back.
That's him, Sergeant. I'm glad you found him. You found the boy. That doesn't mean you found the one that attacked your wife.
You stay out of this, Bowman. I'll put you in so deep. You can take him in.
Look, that's the book we were looking for, Robinson Crusoe. He never got a chance to give it to her. You never got a chance to give her the book, did you, Jamie?
I couldn't.
Why not?
Well, she was on the floor when I went in. Real quiet. And she wasn't screaming no more.
You heard her screaming?
Yeah. And I ran to the door. And I went in. And this man was just going out the back.
What man?
Now, don't be scared. He won't hurt you, I give you my word.
Well, Jamie, Mrs. Harmon was a good friend of yours. Tell him who it was.
Come on, Jamie, who was it? Who'd you see going out?
Come on. You gonna take the word of a kid that doesn't know his left from his right?
We don't have to take his word for it.
Look, Beaumont, you butt in again.
Now, you shut up!
What do you mean?
It's pretty obvious from the marks. Whoever it was tried to choke your wife. She must have put up a pretty good fight. My hunch is she left a few marks of her own.
Could be some scratches on the arms, maybe.
Show him your arms, Jamie.
Show me your arms, Dan.
Oh, now, Buck, you go.
Show me your arms.
No, I'm not gonna show you my arms.
You were always after her, weren't you?
You were always, since Elko, you were always after her. Take it.
Break it up!
Jamie, if we're gonna get an early start now, better get some sleep, huh?
I've got to get a statement from him.
Jamie, don't count on much. He's a little slow. You know, retarded.
And the other one?
Beaumont.
Who's he?
My timekeeper. Best man at the job I ever had.
See you.
Yeah. I was afraid, Ruth. I mean, it had nothing to do with you, see? When you've grown up with a brother like mine, and I was just afraid, that's all.
You're not anymore?
He said I had no reason to be. He said that in most cases, heredity had nothing to do with it. He seemed to know what he was talking about. But he said the first thing I ought to do is tell you.
Now, that's another thing I have to thank him for. Shouldn't I?
Well, he's gone. He's taking Jamie home first, and then he's heading out.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he's got something to be afraid of, too.
Most men have some secret fear. Most men manage to live with it, to walk the world with others and live a quiet, normal life. For one man, that is impossible. Richard Kemble, Fugitive. The name, Dr. Richard Kemble. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony, Richard Kemble is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his murdered wife's body, he saw a one-armed man running from the vicinity of his home. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
The Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as The Fugitive. Co-starring Ed Nelson, Diane Brewster, and special guest star Pamela Tiffin. Also starring Barry Morse as Lieutenant Gerard. Tonight's episode, The Girl from Little Egypt.
Ruth, honey, I was going to tell you.
But you didn't. I had to hear it from your partner just before we landed. A fine man, he called you, and he thinks your wife is wonderful.
Wonderful, neurotic, possessive, close to being an alcoholic. All right, let everybody else think she's wonderful. I don't want anybody to know the truth but you and my lawyer.
Divorce. I don't believe you.
Whether or not you do, it's the truth. Do you honestly think the past 4 months have meant nothing to me? Honey, our place, our parks, our bridges.
Paul, please.
Our Wednesday evenings.
Don't do this to me.
Ruth, it's done. We can't go back now.
And I can't go on.
Honey. Ruth.
Won't be flying out till this is cleared up, Miss Norton. I'll notify the airline.
Yes, sir.
Checked his bag. It's the usual stuff. No ID, small amount of cash, about $12, sober.
How badly is he hurt?
Might only be a concussion instead of a fractured skull. Bruises, cuts, deep one on his leg.
Would it be possible for me to go to the hospital? To make sure he's going to be all right?
For your sake, miss, I hope he's all right.
Did everything you could, John. Everything you could. Have to live her
There.
a long time.
Why? What else did they do to me?
We almost lost you, Helen.
What else?
It was the only way. We can't have children.
No children. My baby dead.
Hey, we will have children. We'll manage to.
Dead. Dead. Dead.
Helen. Helen.
Officer Westfall, welcome back. Should we notify Alan? Mr.
Browning. George Browning. Say, Helen, girl I knew. Not mention any others.
No, just a lot of mumbling we couldn't make out.
We?
Miss Norton. She's been here ever since you came in.
What happened?
You tell me. Just listen, miss.
I had a ride. I got out of the car. I waited. I ran out of cigarettes. I saw a place up the highway. I should have looked for it. I stepped out.
You stepped out?
I tried to jump back. Sorry. Oh, my head hurts.
Concussion, Browning. Got a bum leg, too. You'll be here a while. Say, you didn't tell me he stepped onto the highway.
I didn't have a chance to see what he was doing.
Well, that wraps it. Good night, Miss Norton. You're a lucky girl.
Mr. Browning? Why?
Hey, you look wonderful.
Thank you, darling. You're very gallant. And I might say the same for you.
Now that we bolstered each other's egos, what do you say we do something about our appetites?
Good. Where to tonight?
This little seafood house Carter was telling you about. Has good food, huh?
When did you see Ross Carter?
Helen, let's not spoil tonight, huh?
The great Ross Carter of the Clinic for Planned Parenthood.
We merely discussed the possibility.
Forget it, Richard. For the last time, I won't live a lie.
I'm not so far away. You have to scream it.
I'll scream all I want.
Helen, why do you keep thinking of adoption as a lie?
Because it is. I wouldn't be its mother.
Every year, thousands of people.
I don't care if 1 million people lie to themselves. If I can't have a child, I won't have one.
You won't. Your tragedy. Look, he was my son, too. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
It means I'm going to have another drink. We have lots of glasses, Richard.
Richard David Kimball, it is the verdict of this court that you shall be removed to the state penitentiary and there held until a date to be determined. And on that date, according to the laws of this sovereign state, execution shall be done unto you. May God have mercy on your soul.
I thought you'd gone.
I wanted to ask why you said the accident was your fault.
That's my business.
What's going to happen to you?
Why the concern?
Dr. Kimball, Yes, I heard. You were sentenced to be executed.
I was innocent.
People usually don't lie when they're delirious. But what if the police come back, or a nurse hears what I did? I'll find out how soon you can be discharged, if you have someone to take care of you.
Why are you doing this?
My name is Ruth Norton. I come from the part of Illinois they call Little Egypt. I'm 23 years old. You saved my life, that's right. If it hadn't been for you, I probably would have killed myself at the first curve in that highway.
I can do it myself, little girl from Little Egypt.
That wasn't the agreement. And you've got to be back here in 3 days for a checkup, Mr. Kimball.
Now do us a favor. The name is George Browning. You know, once a long time ago, I was out there in the troop ship.
It won't work. I'll tell you my life story, you tell me yours.
Well, the defenses of a first-rate chess player.
Don't you want anything else?
No.
Well, the bed's made, so I'm going marketing. What are you allergic to?
Not a thing. You're a very trusting soul.
That's my trouble. Besides, what could you do? Run up the telephone bill? Steal the $50 from the coffee can underneath the sink? Get the television out of focus? But you wouldn't even do that. You're a careful man.
I have to be. Lock the door, will you?
Now, then I had to come to make sure you were all right, to try and explain.
There's nothing to explain.
But there is. You didn't give me the chance.
What good would it do? You're married. That's all I know. You're married.
Darling, I admitted it. It's all my fault. I kept telling myself that this isn't right. I have to tell her. And then it was the second hour of the second day and the second week, and I was trapped.
Trapped? And what was I?
I'd like to think you felt the same way and still do.
Paul, please don't. Leave me alone.
I'm sorry.
Paul, this is...
George. Brother George. How do you do? Well, you could have told me, Ruthie, shave all this egg on my face.
George, this is Paul Clemens.
Glad to meet you. You know, in your letters, you said you were lonesome.
What do you do, George?
I'm a salesman. Sporting goods. I get to town about once or twice a year.
Must be quite a change from back at...
Little Egypt, yeah. Well, I get there about once a century.
George works out of New York.
Oh?
Yeah, well, they're not letting people into ball games at half price anymore. Meaning I'll take a walk, get the papers.
Well, looks like a bad leg there.
I just sprained it, playing a little golf with a client.
You gonna be in town long?
I'll wind it up in a couple of days. Let's have a drink.
No, thanks anyway. I'm gonna have to be going.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Now, stick around a while. After all, I barged in here like an elephant.
Don't worry about it. Good night, darling.
Oh, nice meeting you, Paul.
Yeah.
No wonder they haven't caught you yet. How can anybody tell who you are without a scorecard?
Well, Brother George is a role I didn't like playing.
Neither did I. And thanks for not being someone I picked up on the rebound.
You still love him?
Please, no moralizing.
You fall in love, before you know it, you're in over your head. You find out he's married, you want to kill yourself. The question is, Ruthie, will he come to the funeral, or will he ask his wife to pick out some flowers for a nice little stewardess he once met on a plane? I'm sorry for what I said last night.
What did you say? I don't remember.
About his wife picking out flowers for your funeral.
Oh, yes, I remember now.
The old story, the lonely girl in the big city?
Your guess was good. I met him on a flight. A week later, he called. Dinner. One of those little hideaways that trap 10 women a week.
Check your tablecloths. Chef comes out and asks you if you're enjoying yourself.
You've been around, George. Anyhow, With my flight schedule, I only saw him on weekdays. Mostly Wednesdays. Concert, art exhibition, baseball game. Here. Future Mrs. Paul Clements. Slaving over a hot stove and loving it.
Be back tomorrow?
Friday at 4.
Well, I'm gonna go by the hospital and check out this leg. And I'd like to pick you up.
Well enough to drive?
Huh?
Okay. Car's yours. Don't steal it. It isn't paid for.
Rasvik.
Oh, Jim? Paul, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Paul, what can you do for me?
Look, Jim, I got kind of a funny problem.
Funny, and you call homicide?
Look, kidding aside, I've been elected as sort of a good Samaritan this week, and I just don't know how to go about it. The problem is this. There's this little secretary around here, see, and, well, she's got a friend that's a stewardess or something. Her name is Ruth Norton, I think. Yeah, that's it, Norton.
Ruth Norton, well, what about her?
Well, I'm coming to that right now. It seems this, what's-her-name stewardess won't tell anybody what's bothering her. And she's going around terrifically depressed. So the secretary starts snooping around and finds a crumpled fender on the girl's car.
Think she's a hit and run? That's not Good Samaritan, that's fake.
Well, no, she wasn't acting guilty or anything, just depressed.
Listen, Paul, of all the things you asked me to do, I mean...
Look, all you have to do is get the particulars on the accident, and then the secretary will take care of the rest.
All right. Let's see, Ruth Norton, huh? I'll check with traffic and get back to you.
I certainly appreciate it, Jim. Hey, listen, I'm going to see you and Lois over Saturday night, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I'll have this for you before that, though, huh? And give my best to Doris and the kids.
All right, Jim. Thanks a lot. Oh, thanks, honey. Jim?
Paul? Tell the secretary to tell her friend things are all right. No charges. It's a minor accident involving a transient. Already discharged from the hospital.
Oh, you're a magician, Jim. You sure it was Ruth Norton, eh?
Ruth Norton and George Browning. Case closed.
George Browning? Thanks, Jim. Thanks a lot. You have a nice time?
Wonderful. What have you been doing?
Rehearsed telling you my life story.
Don't I know enough already?
I don't think so. Well, it was in the newspapers, magazines. I understand someone's writing a book about it. I suppose that makes it real. Real nightmare. Yes, we argued. Often.
Well,
Living next door, my husband and I could hear, of course.
Do you know for a fact that any of these arguments were violent?
Well, I once saw Mrs. Kimball with a very bad bruise on her cheek.
She became intoxicated. Fell against the bureau.
And were you present?
Yes, but I was across the room.
Across the room. And what did you do when she fell?
I picked her up, treated her.
And realized how much you loved her.
I did love her. I never stopped loving her. Just in that one hopeless area.
You say you saw a boy in a rowboat.
Yes, sir.
But you don't think he saw you. As a matter of fact, you've heard him sitting right there testify that he didn't see you. And now you claim someone else must have seen you. You swear that you saw him. A man with one arm running from the direction of your house. I call to the attention of this court the previous testimony of Lieutenant Philip Gerard.
Immediately following the homicide and over a period of 10 days thereafter, my office interrogated a total of 83 men of such description.
And what were your findings?
That none of them could possibly have been in the vicinity when the crime took place.
Then, Lieutenant Gerard, with your reputation as one of the most brilliant police officers in the state, you were forced to conclude that there never was a one-armed man.
Objection. Objection. Sustained. I order that stricken from the record. I must warn you, Mr. Rand, you are familiar with the proceedings of this court, and I expect you to abide by them. Richard David Kimball, have you anything to say before I pass sentence upon you?
Before God, I'm innocent.
Innocent. How you must have felt.
I didn't tell you all this to make you feel sorry for me.
I know. You're just trying to put my little world in perspective, aren't you? Hello. How are you? I didn't... Yes. Yes, I will. Paul. He wants to meet George Browning at the Red Lion Bar in 15 minutes.
How'd you find out? Where's the Red Lion Bar?
2 blocks south on Taylor. You shouldn't go. I just know it.
Yeah, well, our instincts agree. But if I run, I won't find out what he wanted, will I?
Middle of the week. It was a Browning. Now, whatever it is, you're lucky. As of now, you know more about me than I do about you. As of now.
I still don't believe Paul didn't threaten you in some way.
You disappointed he didn't fight Fang and Claw for you?
I didn't mean that. You know, I didn't mean that.
You ever ask yourself why, Paul Clemens? He was lonely. On Market Street, you have to step off the sidewalk to make room for the lonely ones. Most of them aren't married, Ruthie.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, that's not going to change anything. You shouldn't forget him. You ought to remember him as a particular type of man. The city's full of them. They're a lot like children. I want. All pleasure, no pain. If somebody gets hurt, it won't be them. And they'll always find somebody else. Well, intellection. I'll be leaving in the morning. Tomorrow, maybe tonight.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Thank you very much. For all the right answers, best wishes, and a pat on the head.
Not all the answers, Ruthie. The big one you'll have to find for yourself.
What's this, dear? A payment to the mafia?
Yeah, that's an example of better judgment. I got a tip on the commodity market. I thought twice about it. I'm going to redeposit it Monday morning.
I see. Well, you hang up your coat while I relieve you of the martini.
Yeah.
Oh, darling, speaking of martinis, I asked the Cunninghams over Wednesday night.
Fine. Wednesday night?
Uh-huh.
I won't know until Monday, but I may have to put in a little time with Poached Egg Wilson from Kansas City.
Him again? You poor man.
You know how he is. Talk your leg off rather than go back to his hotel room.
Well, maybe you can salvage the evening by getting him to eat something other than poached eggs. Anyway, I'll burn a candle in the window for you.
Good girl. No matter how late I am, I know I can always count on that.
Are you always so mysterious?
We're almost there.
I've never been in this part of the peninsula before. Expensive homes. Did you know these people before you were?
Here we are.
Lots of cars. Must be a party.
I'll leave it to you. We're old friends from out of town. You get out of here. My leg's better. I feel fine. Meaning I'll knock you into your wall-to-wall carpeting if you try to keep us out.
Well, come in, won't you? I'm Doris.
Yes, come in, come in. This is my wife, Doris. Doris, this is Ruth Norton and her brother, George. Ruth is an airline stewardess.
A stewardess? Tell me something. Do you girls really fly those planes from the pilot's labs?
Scotch and water, Paul.
Don't you like parties? I do. They're so meaningless. Oh, come on. What's this? Okay, off to bed with you. That's the fourth trip. They must be having a smorgasbord.
They're beautiful children.
They're monsters from the planet Earth. Come on, meet some people. Sober, drunk, witty, boring, all friends.
Guess I'll have to get that drink myself.
See her. Where's Sally, Jim?
Oh, I guess she's off talking politics someplace.
Oh, Ruth, this is Jim Prestwick. He has endured the friendship of my husband longer than anyone else. Jim, this is Ruth Norton.
Ruth Norton.
She's an airline stewardess. Now, if you two will excuse me.
Give me the scotch.
You're a stewardess, huh?
Almost a year now.
Oh, is that so? You know, I've got a young cousin in St. Paul, and he is just crazy about flying.
I really don't know how much good it does as a deterrent. I mean, do you really think that in a moment of rage you'd even stop to think about legal punishment?
Well, that's a good question, a very good one. I don't know.
I believe you'll leave with me.
This is the cruelest thing anyone's ever done to me.
Take a look around.
Hey, listen, hey.
I saw it wink at me. What? You think he's going to give all this up for you?
I didn't know he had all this. You've made your point. I'll get my things. Let's go.
Here's our man. Sir? Sir, would you help us over here a minute, please? Thank you. We're at 3-3 on capital punishment.
My opinion's supposed to decide something.
You better vote and make him happy.
Now listen, Lieutenant, you're a detective, not a politician. No soliciting within 100 feet of the polls.
I think our opinions come more from emotion than from logic, so whether I'm for or against capital punishment, I don't think I'll change any opinions here.
I'm gonna find a voter, not a philosopher.
Oh, well, he's new here. He doesn't know we have a little rule not to take ourselves too seriously. My name's Jim Prestwick.
Norton. I came with my sister.
Hey, listen, I better find my wife. I'll see you later, huh?
You really did it, huh? You had the nerve to bring her here. You made enough mistakes, Clemens.
All right. Maybe so. Maybe I should have been driving her car. I tell you, I would have missed. I would have aimed dead center. And if I would have missed, I would have backed up.
I'm ready, George. You have a lovely home, Paul. And family. Next week, I'm going to move somewhere. I won't be in the phone book. Goodbye.
Just wait a minute. Who do you think you are?
Sorry.
It's all mine.
Thank you. It hasn't been so bad, has it? when you meet the guy, whoever he is or you think he might be, bring him here. Don't avoid it. Come here and think of Paul, think of me. But most of all, think of the guy what brung you.
I know. Make it our place.
Good old checkered tablecloths.
Good old chef coming out to ask how our dinner was.
You know, Ruthie, sometime I'll be back and you'll probably be sitting right there. Only by then you'll be feeding tamales to a couple of kids and maybe slipping the old man some money under the table.
That'll be the day.
I'm not worried about it. I'm through little Egypt. I'll give him your best.
George.
I never thanked you for running me down.
The pleasure was all mine.
The outbound bus from San Francisco, destination known. George Browning, destination unknown. His only companion, hope. Hope for the day when he can once again become Richard Kimball. Name, Richard Kimball. Profession, Doctor of Medicine. Destination, Death Row State Prison. Richard Kimball has been tried and convicted for the murder of his wife. But laws are made by men, carried out by men. And men are imperfect. Richard Kimball is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his wife's body, he encountered a man running from the vicinity of his home. A man with one arm. A man who has not yet been found. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as The Fugitive, with guest stars Andrew Prine, Jacqueline Scott, Robert Keith, also starring Barry Morse as Lieutenant Gerard. Tonight's episode, Home is the Hunted.
Always there is the hunter, the hunted, and the trap. Traps are of many kinds, of wood, of steel, of words. But this time the trap is a city. Dr. Richard Kimball, 2 years a fugitive, is about to enter the trap. Why is Stafford, Indiana, a death trap for Richard Kimball? Because here 1,000 people know him, This city is where Richard Kimball lived for 33 years.
Fred! Fred! Heaven's sakes, Fred, you forgot the food. When you go fishing, have a good time and take care of your father, Leo.
This is the neighborhood which Richard Kimball knew as a child. Here, the house in which he grew up. Now, in time of desperate trouble for him, a stopping place within a city of danger. A city of danger. Because here also is the headquarters of Police Lieutenant Philip Gerard.
Now, the last entry I have on the Bellamy case is, 2 weeks ago.
And you didn't see this report?
No.
Kingsley's. For a rookie, he's pretty sharp. Not Richard Kimball.
No, his father. It's last Tuesday's paper.
Oh, yes. Dr. John Kimball today made a gift of his valuable medical library to the University of Wisconsin. The gift was in the form of a trust, terms of which were not disclosed. Does this mean something?
If you were away from home for a long time, would you read your hometown newspaper?
Probably.
Why wouldn't Kimball?
Suppose he did see the item.
I understand from the university that these books were the old man's prized possession.
You mean he might worry about it? Try to get in touch? Phil, do you actually think he'd try to come back here?
No, I guess not. No, Stafford would be the last place on earth he'd show his face.
Is that the phone?
If it's one of my patients, or former patients, tell them doddering old Doc Kimball is retired.
Keep an eye on him.
All right.
Hello? Just a minute, please.
Ray? Ray? I can't hear myself think.
I'm going down to feel out the track, sis. I'm racing tomorrow.
Hello. Hello. Hello?
Donna?
Yes?
Sis, this is Dick.
Dick. Dick, is it really you? Where are you?
Now, Donna, stop it. I haven't got time for you to go to pieces. Pull yourself together. How are you, sis?
I'm all right.
What's wrong with Dad?
Oh, he's all right now. It was a heart attack. No, he bought the house out here after he got sick. And I just bring the kids up on weekends.
You're going to have to tell him I'm here. I want you to give him a sedative first.
Well, there are all sorts of bottles.
Find the one marked Pronestal.
Pronestal, I remember that name. It'll take us about 2 hours to get there.
This year, it's scuba diving. What's the matter? The house in town burned down? Well, it was the phone call, wasn't it? Pronestal. It must have been some kind of bad news.
No.
But whoever called suggested Pronestal. Not many doctors would. Of course I would, and...
Yes.
Where is he?
He's at the old house in the city.
Mommy, you saying goodbye to Grandpa?
No, David. We're all going back to town.
What about Ray?
Oh, yes, go tell him.
Should I?
Well, of course, tell him.
You know how he's been talking lately. Wouldn't it be better if...
Go tell your brother. I'll take care of the children.
What's up? Go ahead.
Dick's home.
Arrested?
No, he's,
He's not going to give himself up.
No, the police don't even know he's in the city. He's over at the old house. Ray?
No.
You've got to come.
No.
Don't you understand? He's home.
I got to groove the car for tomorrow's race.
He's your brother.
Donna, you stay off my back.
Ray, you haven't seen him in 2 years.
Get out of my
Come home
way.
with us. Ray!
Get out of my way!
Grandpa said he wasn't coming here anymore.
Ray should have come with us. He should have come. He should have.
Donna.
What's the matter, Grandpa?
I hate to take medicine, just like you.
I want to go in, Mommy.
Donna, you take the children home.
Oh, no, here, let me help.
No, I'm all right.
I want to go in, Mommy.
No, we have to go home. Daddy's waiting for us.
Father.
And you haven't lost hope.
Well, sometimes. Almost. But I'll outrun Gerard. I'll outlast him. I'll live long enough for him to see me clear. That's enough about me. How about you? How's your heart?
Just simple myocarditis. How did you know something was wrong? That is wrong enough to come back here within the reach of Gerard.
The Stafford Times. I hit all the out-of-town newsstands.
Oh, you read the item about my library.
I picked it up in Chicago about a week ago. I knew you'd never give away your books unless...
It's time for me to retire and make way for younger men.
Yeah, I guess these last 2 years have been enough to bring on a heart attack.
Not because of you, Dick.
Not because of me, then.
Well, Dick, 35 years ago, I went in for pediatrics. I gave sound advice to parents on how to raise children. But I didn't take it myself. You see, you were my first son. I loved you first. And I'm afraid I loved you more. Well, you were stronger, you were brighter, you were more fit to be a doctor. And it was you my colleagues patted on the head, not your brother. Never your brother.
What does that have to do?
It's Leonard, Donna's husband. Dick, didn't you hear me? It's Leonard. Donna must have told him. What? Now, you don't think that he would...
All right.
Dick, Donna told me. I had to come just for a few seconds to let you know.
Thanks, Len.
You know, we're still hoping and doing what we can with all the money we can spare. The lawyer, too. Just hold on. We'll find the man who did it.
I appreciate it, Len. It's good to see you.
I'm flying east on business tonight. Now, is there anything else I can do?
No.
Donna's in the car with the kids. I'll run them home. She can't wait to come in.
You better get your handbag out of here. Your old room is still upstairs. I think I'll go and lie down for a moment.
You feel all right, then?
The best I've felt in 2 years. Dick, I'm glad you came.
Dick?
Well, let me look at you. Your hair's different.
They're looking for a man with gray hair. I thought I'd make it tougher for him.
It was dangerous, your coming here. You could have called.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have called. And you would have told me that Dad was fine, everything was dandy. Wouldn't you? What's worrying, Dad?
Well, you know. It's his heart.
I mean, the reason for it. All this talk about blaming himself on me and Ray years ago, favoritism. I don't understand it. What's it got to do with Ray?
Nothing. It's just that he doesn't blame you for his heart attack.
Ray was at the Meadows, wasn't he? Why didn't he come with you? What's all the secret about?
All right. Sometimes I think Ray doesn't care whether he lives or dies. Come on, I'll make us some coffee.
Hi, Dick.
What's the matter?
What do you mean?
Well, I didn't sneak back like a thief after 2 years for this kind of greeting. What's bothering you? You and Dan?
Nothing.
And Donna tells me that you're racing. But you drive like a fool. You take too many chances that could kill you. Hey, you hold a job for about 3 months. That's about it for you. You drink too much, you run around back alleys, spend over your head. You tell your friends off, you do the same thing to Donna. You weren't like this when I left.
I came back from the Meadows to say hello. Donna thought I should. You look okay.
Ray, Dad is 70 years old. The human body wears out. The heart gets weak. Under a strain, it breaks. Now, my trouble is enough for him. Why you? You want to kill him? Well, what happened?
You.
What?
Did Donna tell you I didn't get married?
Well, she told me that you and Betty broke up, but not on account of me.
After 10 years. We didn't get married in high school or college. We were the sensible type. We waited till I got my degree. And then we waited till I became a real live engineer. And then we waited till the right job came along. And finally we bought the ring. And then 2 years ago next month, she left me. On account of you.
Betty, was at the trial. She stuck with you all the way through it, 3 months of it.
And through the appeals, too. She fought her mother and father all the way. Almost all the way. And then you escaped. And it was Kimball in the headlines. Kimball on radio, on TV. Couldn't get it out of your ears. Well, that did it. They broke her down.
Well, Ray, you're not me.
That's not the way her father saw it. To him, I'm Richard Kimball's brother. And that's the way most people see it. Do you want to know about my jobs? Well, I hold them until somebody finds out who I am. The, a client or the board of directors. And then I'm out.
Donna didn't tell me that. I guess I should have realized how tough they'd be on you around here.
You blame them?
What do you blame me?
They do. They followed the trial. They read the newspapers, the evidence. They knew you and Helen were arguing and fighting. They think you killed her.
That's a lie.
My last boss believed it. They all believed it.
Do you?
The jury believed it.
I'm asking you.
The appeals court believed it.
Ray, I want to know what you think.
What do I think? What difference does it make? All I've known is that all my life has been you first and me second. Dad was always for you first. He never cared about me.
Ray, that isn't true.
That's another lie. That's how it's always been. The short, hard end of the stick.
Now, where are you going?
I got some back alleys to visit.
I'm sorry, Dick. But we'll work it out somehow.
Yeah, sure, even if
I'm too tough an old coat to kill. It's dark, Dick. It's time for you to go.
I can't, Dan. I had to work this out with Ray before I go.
I've been watching you since dawn. Watching and thinking. 2 years is a lot to make up.
I waited up for Ray. I hoped he'd come back. How could he think I did it?
Ray loves you, Dick. I know that he does.
Donna. I told her I wanted to see the children.
Well, so long as they don't see you. In 5 minutes, it'll be all over the neighborhood. You can watch them from my room.
Come on, hurry. Shoot.
All right, you can play in the house. But remember the rules. Let Grandpa rest and stay out of his room. And don't tear anything up.
I'm shot! I'm stuck in the heart! I'm choking! I'm bleeding! I'm starving! I'm choking! I'm starving!
A wonderful kid, Stanley.
I'm freezing! A mountain! A mountain! I'm shocked!
Ray didn't come back last night. I've got to see him tonight before I go.
He's probably out the meadows. He's racing this afternoon again.
Well. It must have been a mortal sin you've committed to be in such a hurry to church this fine Sunday morning. It's a license to drive, not to commit murder or suicide. Let's go to the station. I'll be right behind you.
Couple of minutes, Flaherty.
Come with me. Lieutenant Gerard?
Hello, Flaherty.
I just picked up Ray Kimball on a speeding charge. You want to talk to him?
Yeah. Come in, sit down. Speeding again. Gray Porsche Roadster. Bought new. 1961 by Richard Kimball. License number 2U6987. Registration transferred to Ray Kimball, October 18th, 1961.
You know all about us.
Yes, I do. See by the papers that you're racing this afternoon.
That's right.
I read about your father's gift to the university.
It's a medical library?
Yeah, how's he like living out of the meadows now he's retired?
There's nothing to keep him here in Stafford.
Oh, I didn't know he'd sold his house already.
Well, he didn't. As a matter of fact, he drove in yesterday to see if everything was all right.
Won't do his heart much good driving with you in a sports car.
I didn't drive him in. My sister did.
I should think between you and your sister, you could spare him the strain of coming in at all. And you say you're racing today?
Yes, why?
Well, I thought drivers tuned and babied their cars right up till starting time. Why did you say you came in?
Ready for him, Lieutenant.
Yeah, all right.
It's going to be $50 or 5 days this time.
I got the $50. Oh, by the way, Gerard, my brother's hair's gray.
Hello, good morning. How are you today?
Gerard. Dad, do you have your medicine? We'll take some and go to bed. You're too sick to see him. Donna, let him in. Act as though you have nothing to hide. Keep the children out there. Donna, the coffee cups.
I'm glad to see you get your hands as dirty as my boy.
Lieutenant Gerard?
Good morning. I wonder if I might come in for a moment.
It's official, I suppose so.
Thank you.
David, you and Billy play outside.
Have you heard from your brother lately? Richard?
You certainly can't expect me to answer that.
No, I suppose not.
Then why are you here?
Well, not to search the house. I'd need a warrant for that. I understand the doctor has moved out to the meadows. Retired. I was sorry to hear about his illness.
Sleeping.
I talked to your brother this morning.
Ray?
Mm-hmm.
What's he done?
Speeding. He paid his fine.
I haven't seen him today.
You all came in, didn't you?
The children got to be too much for my father. I'm taking him back this afternoon. I don't know what the point of your visit is, Lieutenant.
Mommy! Mommy, we're hungry! Can we have something to eat? Last night you promised ice cream. And if we played in the yard, you promised ice cream.
David, stop that. Now, we have company. As soon as this gentleman leaves...
But I'm starving, and Billy's starving, and you promised.
I'm afraid you will have to excuse me.
Of course.
Do you want me to give you a shoe shine?
No, David. The man doesn't want to shine, and you want lunch.
It's real good shoe polish.
You give me a shine the next time.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
Where did... I'll keep the shoe polish, David. You go on back outside. 5 minutes, I'll have lunch for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
David must have found it in your bag upstairs. Gerard could have seen it.
He didn't. I wonder what brought him here.
Ray was picked up for speeding this morning. Gerard talked to him. I don't mean that Ray would.
I know that. And Donna, I gotta talk to him. I've gotta see him. Will he be out at the house today?
Probably. He's racing this afternoon. I could take you out in the car.
That'd be safer, Dick.
Be transporting a fugitive.
I'd be protecting my son.
All right.
Where's Ray?
He must be down at the track.
Get him and bring him back.
What will you say to him?
I don't know. Before I go, I've got to make him believe I didn't do it.
Hey! I thought you were all in town.
Dick's here.
Where?
He's up on the hill. He has to talk to you.
I got nothing to say to him.
He's going as soon as it gets dark.
Well, good. Let him go.
He is your brother.
I'm not gonna see him. I got time for a couple of more laps.
Dear God, don't do this to him.
Hey, wait. Does he know that? Go tell Dick. Donna.
You go. You can drive off the course out on the far side of the track. He'll never see you. I'll stay here and talk to him.
Hello.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going around a couple of more times.
Ray, be careful. Why are you
following me?
I'm not. I thought maybe I could have another talk with your brother about...
He's coming. I think it'll be better if I saw him alone.
Gerard's here. You hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
He may be onto something. You gotta get out.
Ray, why do you race? You never liked it before. You were afraid of it. What are you trying to do to yourself?
Can I mess things up any more than they already are? Dick, Gerard. He's down there at the track.
I know everything's blown up in your face. Your work, your marriage, me. Especially me. But if I'm caught, people will forget.
I don't want you to get caught.
I don't intend to until I'm cleared. But until then, you gotta work out some kind of decent life for yourself.
With your ghost hanging over me?
Forget me.
Forget what happened 2 years ago?
You can't make yourself say it, can you? You can't get yourself to say that you think I killed my wife.
I didn't say that.
But you thought it, didn't you? Look, I lived under the same roof with you. I ate at the same table. When you were a little kid, you got scared. You used to come in and crawl into my bed. You see any killer in me then? Can't you believe me?
I want to. I've tried to.
But you can't.
Dick, I want to believe you. Make me believe
How?
you.
What am I supposed to do for you? Live the million pieces of our lives over again? Yours, mine, Dad's? What, supposed to live them over so they add up to you believing me?
Prove it to me. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna prove to you that I'm not afraid to die.
Dick, you're out in the open. Where are you going?
Down there.
Gerard's down there.
I know.
He'll take you back up to state prison like he did before.
Some things need a lot of proof.
No, wait a minute, Dick. I can't let you.
If there was any other way to prove it, I wouldn't.
This time they'll kill you.
The idea doesn't frighten you too much after you've been on the run a couple of years.
But running, at least you stay alive. You buy time.
Time to what? Time to tell myself my brother thinks I'm guilty.
No, wait. You mean you'd go down there and you'd let him take you just to prove to me that you aren't?
If I were drowning, wouldn't you jump in for me?
Oh, Dick. Let's don't go down there.
Get in the car. I want to say goodbye to Dad.
Is it all right?
It's all right. Ray's gonna drive me out.
Dick. My books. They were a gift to the university on condition that they be returned to you the day that you're cleared. What made you think Ray came here?
I don't know. He entered in the race, but then he didn't show.
He's been thinking of giving up fast cars. Maybe he made up his mind just before the race. Well, I'll tell him you were looking for him.
Yes. Well, thank you, Doctor.
Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter home from the hill. But for Richard Kimball, not yet. Not yet.